name is Kathy Dawson, and I wrote the foundational essay for Live in Community. I thought I would introduce myself through some of my own communities that support me in my work and in my life. So I'll start off with a community that we all share, although in different ways, and that's my family and friends who are spread out all over the country and throughout the world as well. So I think it speaks to community does not necessarily have to be local. And then I also have the community of my work, my vocation community, and that's Columbia Theological Seminary, where I serve as the Benton Family Associate Professor of Christian Education. And I've been there since 2004 and was a student before that. And so I know that this institution really values community for faculty, staff, and students. And then finally, my faith community is Oakhurst Presbyterian Church, a very diverse, multicultural, multi-ethnic community of believers who gather each Sunday here in Decatur, Georgia. And we spend a lot of time maintaining and growing our community by learning through our differences with each other how to be community. It may seem self-explanatory because it's something that we all do, unless, of course, we're living in a cave in the desert someplace by ourselves, but that probably doesn't connect with anybody who's watching this video. So, live in community. It's not necessarily a Christian practice as we think about it, because everybody in the world lives in some type of community. I quoted in the foundational essay a study called Hardwired to Connect that brought together all different researchers who were really concerned with how children and youth thrive in community. And one thing that they learned by bringing together all their various research studies was that our brains are hardwired to be in relationship with other people. We are not designed to be isolated individuals on our own. So as Christians, what is it that binds us together in this life in community? I believe it's our belief in Jesus Christ. And you see that in the metaphors that we use to talk about church. Metaphors like the body of Christ and the living temple where we are blocks being built up into a building with Christ as our foundational stone. It's one of the reasons that I was attracted early on to the work of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who I quote extensively in this essay, because he began talking about community in his earliest dissertation and talked about how community is Christ existing as community in the Christian context. And he kept writing about community throughout his life. His most well-known book on this topic is Life Together. So part of what attracts me to Bonhoeffer is this notion that every person within the community is important. And if we ignore those on the margins or those who we think are less important, then we're really not living as a Christian, Christ-based community.